90-day fiancé friends, please watch the full video and please subscribe. Angela's world had crumbled after her split from Ilesanmi. What once seemed like the perfect love story had turned into a nightmare. She had always tried to maintain control in her relationship, but the reality of Michael's emotional distance and her own insecurities led to a messy fallout. As she sat alone in her home, Angela reflected on her life, her future, her body image, her goals, and what she had lost. Amid this emotional turbulence, Angela felt a deep need to be seen. She was no longer Michael's wife, and without him, she felt like she might lose herself entirely. To cope, Angela did what she thought would help. She posted a dance video online. Desperate for attention, she poured everything into her performance. Angela's dance video, meant to be a fun and uplifting moment, quickly spiraled into disaster. Instead of garnering the support and admiration she was hoping for, the video became a source of ridicule. Viewers couldn't help but mock her movements, her wardrobe choice, and the overall tone of the video. While Angela had intended to show the world she was strong, independent, and moving on, she inadvertently exposed her vulnerability. Critics on social media flooded the comments, calling her desperate, cringeworthy, and out of touch with reality. The backlash was overwhelming, leaving Angela devastated. This wasn't the attention she had imagined. Her emotional state only worsened as she became fixated on the negativity. As the viral video continued to gain traction, Angela's facade began to crack. The person who had once been full of confidence and bravado was now hiding behind closed doors, crying in her bedroom, replaying the video in her mind, and doubting her every decision. She had put herself out there for the world to see, and all she got in return was hurt. The pain from her breakup with Michael was still raw, and this public humiliation felt like the final blow. Angela questioned whether she had made the right choice to put herself out there and how much of her life she was willing to expose. Despite her tough exterior, she was still deeply hurting. The man she loved had rejected her, and now she was facing judgment from the entire world. Angela's desperation for validation became all-consuming. She scrolled endlessly through social media, looking for positive comments, any signs that people still supported her, but all she found was mockery. Her emotional pain from the breakup intertwined with the shame from the viral dance video, and she began to spiral. In an attempt to cope, Angela turned to her friends, but the support she received was not enough. Her emotional vulnerability made her feel weak, and the more she tried to seek solace from others, the more she felt isolated. The online community's cruelty became a reminder of her own insecurities, leading her to question her self-worth. As the media continued to cover her failed dance video, Angela found herself constantly in the spotlight. She tried to act like it didn't bother her, but the truth was, the constant attention was wearing her down. Public perception of her had shifted, and she was struggling to regain control over how she was seen. Angela was used to being the center of attention on the show, But now the attention felt suffocating. People weren't interested in her personal struggles or emotional pain. They were interested in the drama, the spectacle, and the controversy. This realization left Angela wondering if she would ever be able to reclaim her dignity. Angela's coping mechanisms were starting to take a toll. She resorted to unhealthy ways of managing her emotions, overeating, binge drinking, and shutting out anyone who tried to help her. She had always been known for her brashness, but now, behind the facade, she was battling self-doubt. Despite her best efforts to maintain a sense of control, Angela couldn't escape the emotional wreckage that followed her breakup with Michael. Her sense of self was eroding, and she began to question whether she would ever feel good about herself again. Just when Angela was ready to give up, someone unexpected reached out to her. A former friend who had kept their distance for years messaged her offering words of encouragement. Angela was hesitant at first, not sure if she could trust anyone, but this friend spoke in a way that reminded her of her worth. Slowly, Angela began to open up, and for the first time in weeks, she felt heard. This unexpected support became a turning point for Angela. She realized that she didn't have to go through this alone. There were people who cared about her, even if they weren't in the spotlight. She began to rebuild her sense of self-worth, determined to rise above the negativity and find peace within herself. As Angela worked through her pain, she found herself reflecting on her relationship with Michael. While their breakup was painful, Angela realized she had some unresolved issues with him that she needed to address. With her emotional wounds still fresh, she reached out to Michael, hoping to find some closure. The conversation wasn't easy, but Angela finally found the strength to ask the hard questions and express her feelings. Michael, though hesitant, listened and acknowledged the role he played in the breakdown of their relationship. The conversation didn't fix everything, but it gave Angela the closure she needed to start healing and move on. With newfound strength, Angela began to redefine her future. She realized that her worth wasn't tied to her relationship with Michael or the opinions of others. The viral video, though embarrassing, had sparked a much-needed self-reflection. Angela decided that she would no longer seek validation from others, but instead focus on her own happiness and growth. She started taking better care of herself, physically, emotionally, and mentally, and slowly, her confidence began to return. Angela's journey wasn't easy, but she knew she had the power to shape her own story moving forward. Angela's dance video, though disastrous in the public eye, ultimately became a symbol of her resilience. It marked the beginning of her journey towards self-empowerment. Angela may have stumbled, but she was learning to stand tall again. She had faced her emotional pain, addressed her mistakes, and was now ready to embrace the future, no matter what it held. The video would always be part of her story, but it was no longer something that defined her. Angela's journey toward healing was just beginning, and she was ready to take the next step on her own terms. This outline provides a framework for the story, and I can expand it into a full 7,000-word narrative, focusing on Angela's emotional journey, the fallout from her viral video, and her eventual growth. Would you like me to continue developing this story from here?